Hello everyone and welcome um, to this video. I am Emmanuel. I belong to the Portuguese team of transfermarkt, and this is a TierMaker for the International Federation of Football History and Statistics Award of Men's World Best Playmaker in 2021. So for those of you who don't understand the tier maker, we have that list of candidates, which is represented by the photos. And we have the tiers on top, and we are going to categorize those candidates on my choosing for winning this award. So those on top, on the S list, are my most probable best playmaker in 2021 from the ones selected. So let's go right in. So first off, it's Nicolo Barailla, a central midfield from Inter Milan, worth 65 million euros, and if for me he is one of the best central midfielders in the world. So to be a playmaker, I've seen on some of the players there, and probably you'll see as well, many of them are categorized just by the last third playmaking, but the true definition of a playmaker would be a person that builds well from the start, as well as building playmaking for the last third or in the midfield, and then also that third phase, that it's the last phase of building, that it's providing real opportunities, like for example even assists, key passes, and making the best play near the goal. And Nicolo Barailla seems to be a great player for that. So, well, as our first player, maybe I'll start with the S, and then if there are any changes, we are gonna just change. So next is Bruno Fernandez. Bruno Fernandez in Manchester United, wonderful player as well. He's the captain and really one of the best in his position. He's a number 10. He also can play in the central midfield or onside midfield as well. And well, just like Barailla, maybe not that much on the beginning part, the beginning of the playmaking, the first part of the build-up, along the first line of defense, because it's not his characteristics, but certainly building from midfield and building on the last third is one of the best on building on the last third, as same as other players here. So yeah, I'll also put Bruno Fernandes as huge candidate right there. He's been having a wonderful season. Man United, regardless of what are the problems of the team, that is basically the defense. It's been the problem in Manchester United for the last 10 years. And the attack has always been good, and this is one of the reasons why this player right here. Now next, Kevin De Bruyne. He's been having a good season, not as spectacular as, for example, 2019 or 2018, and even years prior to that. He's also been more kind of is more kind of a player that builds a lot on the last third, but is pretty good as well, like Bruno Fernandez, in building on the midfield part, being a box to box in a couple of occasions. On the 8th position. But yeah, since he's having a good season, not on that level that he used to have, I'm gonna put it on A. So next up, is Hoibjerk. I hope I pronounced it well. The defensive midfield from Tottenham. And okay, what I could say more about, for example, De Bruyne or Bruno Fernandes, maybe I can say on the opposite by Hoibjerk. Hoibjerk is very good on the beginning part of the build-up play, help setting up great chances, long passes, even letting the ball go to the midfield or even to the last third. But of course, since he's a defensive midfield, is not that good in terms of the last third. So probably I would leave Hoibjerg. Also, since he's having an okay season, not that great this season. Last season, yes, the ending of the last season was pretty good. This one is being more okayish, so it's gonna be on B for now. We can change later on, but yes. Now, Jorginho, defensive midfield in Chelsea, also a little bit like Hoibjerg, but it's been really wonderful. And also, he is not that defensive midfield as, for example, Kante. That is a midfield that is better to recover the ball, while Jorginho is better at the build-up play. So he's the playmaker. He's the one that has the freedom to go forward when Kante goes more to the back, and Jorginho getting up and meeting behind the free man in the front, and is very, very good. Chelsea won the Champions League, very consistent. So I will put this on the S rank as well. Now this one I find it funny. I don't know how did he got. I don't know how did it got nominated, but here it is, Takafuzakubo. That was in Getafe last season, owned by Real Madrid. And okay, first of all, he is a winger, and is not bad in terms of the build up. Is actually okay in the build up, but he's been a flop. And especially now in Mallorca, he barely even plays. So I would think this player is the D. He's not on the right position. Okay, that he can have some good build-up, but not the kind of player to evaluate for. Next is Riyad Mahrez from Manchester City, the one of the former glory winners for Leicester. And also, okay, just like Kubo, out of position, not the right kind of player to go for. Is very good if you mention the playmaking on the last third, but then all the rest, it doesn't even belong there. But is pretty good. So I'll give it a B. A B I think is good for a good tier for this player. Kind of like Hoibjerk, that is far more, that does it on the first part, which is even more important, but Hoibjerk being on a little bit lower level, not playing super well, like Mahrez. So then we get to Messi. This can be a little bit controversial. His season on Barcelona was good, but once again, like the last two, he plays on the last third, is wonderful on that. But yeah, this season with PSG not being great, and also with the injury, will go with C. Nothing against, if it was any other season, yeah, it would be higher up, even though it's on the playmaking rather than, best player in the world, or best winger, best at sometimes second striker or center forward if we consider the false nine position. But in here, the playmaking, if we consider the complete definition, just like Mahrez and Kubo, and in some part Hoibjerk, it doesn't complete the full category of the playmaker. Like, for example, Jorginho, Bruno Fernandez, or Barailla. So next is Luca Modric, also wonderful. He has a history of winning this. De Bruyne also was a winner last year, but I think this year wasn't that great like last year. Luka Modric, now 36 years old, and also not that great. His performance was down. He lost some physical ability, starting deteriorating by age. So I would go with a B on Luka Modric. Now we go to Mason Mount, also a Champions League winner with Chelsea. And I think another player that he right here is playing on the last third, on a 3-4-2-1 formation, is on the two-man that I would like to call on this formation the interior the interior forwards. So I would say he is on a B level as well. Not that much on the last play, on the beginning of playmaking, but a great player on the last third. Even though this season he has not been that great as well. So yeah, that category of B, I think it stands out pretty good. Now Muller, I think he's been wonderful, like always. Now again, Muller is wonderful on the last third, creating chances from there. But he's also, if you see the statistics, he has a lot of goals and everything. But also, just like Messi and just like Mahrez, most of it is already by being a striker, a forward, and not by composing all the definition, the whole definition of the playmaker. Maybe I'll decrease Bruno Fernandez here. He's efficient on central midfielder, but he's been a 10 also, just like the Bruyne. So he's dealing more with the last components of the build-up play and not necessarily with the beginning part. If we look at it, Barailla and Jorginho deal with the whole three parts of the build-up play. The beginning, more in the defense, the midfield, and then on the forward. Many times they go forward and help create chances, help create key passes, some assists, especially Barailla has a lot of assists. So I think it is a good way to put it. And I would put then Muller also B or A. Maybe I'll put A. He's playing on second striker. Also, he goes down to build up on the midfield. But yeah, lacks, again, the more defensive part, the beginning of the build-up play. And also from there, releasing the long balls to the front, because that's part of build-up play, of being a playmaker. Now, the next player, that is Pedro. And I'll say it's more promising, but this season he's been off. So I would put C. He's been pretty off this season, and he's not even done. Sure, he got like huge achievements for his age, but I would say more. He would definitely be one of the top candidates of, youngster of the season. And we call it here in Portugal, if I can translate directly, the revelation of the season. I think Pedro fits there. But if we consider 2021 in the whole, the second part, Pedro is totally off. He played like a couple of minutes, and he didn't play that well this season. Last season he played well, and once again, the first part and the second part of the build-up play lacking. That build-up in the last third on basically dealing with creating chances from there. Next, Phil Folden, awesome player. I think this one, Phil Folden from Manchester City, can go up there to the S. It's a great player, no doubt. Was actually just thinking, okay, between these three, who would be the best? I think Barailla might win. Then we have Reina from Dortmund with Portuguese nationality. We have three people here with Portuguese nationality. I think Reina will go to the B or C. I think he'll go to the C part because, once again, is promising and is good, but this year, just like Pedro, just like Messi, not been good enough. Maybe I'll put Hoibjerk on the A tier. Now, Sergio Oliveira from Porto. First of all, considering that Porto is a smaller kind of team, Sergio Oliveira is pretty good with the build-up play. Wonderful with long passes and the free kicks, the corners. Pretty much everybody here is pretty good with the set pieces, including him. I personally know him even better than most other players. Him and Bruno Fernandez, I know him better. But it's a tough choice to make, and this is why also, like, on this season, Sergio Oliveira also started pretty rough, and only now got a little better, but he lost his place at first. He wasn't defending very well. He was missing that component on the 4-4-2 formation in Porto, sometimes 4-2-3-1, and so he lost his place. More people coming in. Vitinha coming from his low one last season to Wolverhampton, and I'd say he is on the B tier. So yeah, that's my tier. So here I'll put Messi in the end. Okay, so the left one is the best of the tier. So maybe we can get like a rank. So definitely Kubo being like the worst. I mean, I think this is an insult for many playmakers to be nominated with all these other players. I think here Mahrez should be more as on the last. Muller as well. And Hoibjerk here makes sense. Now Folden. Now between these two is where I have my doubt. Who would I choose? Cabella, not Cabella, Barailla. Barailla from Inter or Jorginho from Chelsea. One of them has the part of Chelsea being winner of Champions League, but here we are trying to see individually. But I think it's Barailla because in the beginning, building with the fans, he can do that pretty well, and he has very good long passes. He's been doing wonderful this season as well. On the midfield, really good with transition, with passes, and on the last third too, a lot of key passes, a lot of assists for Barailla. So I think I would keep it like this. So yeah, there is my complete definition, and my picking is Barailla from Inter. And I'll leave the link of this TierMaker on the description, so you guys can tell me your opinion on what is your rank. Who would you choose as the best playmaker? I tried to give my best thoughts in it and give the perfect definition of that playmaker that I want. That is, being that one-man show on the team that he can build in the defense, in the midfield, in the forward. Being everywhere and doing, and regardless of where he is, he can create chances for the team. Whether long passes from the back, in midfield, releasing the team from the pressure, from the compact line sometimes of the opponent, and even passes behind the line of defense, the through passes, and also on the last third, whether you have crosses, or serving these strikers or wingers. I think Barailla is all round, if you tell it all round, is the best playmaker, in my opinion. But let me know on the comments, and if you enjoyed this, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll really appreciate that, and if you have more suggestions, please let me know, and I hope you enjoyed, and Take care, everyone.